Warning: the following podcast you are about to listen to features horrifying events with graphic details which some people may find offensive, and also extremely funny. We would like to apologize to anyone who may have been offended or upset by these events. Furthermore, we would like to thank all our loyal followers who have respected our privacy through these tough times. Much love. Beyond the Ball.
Over the weekend, we were made aware of some very unfortunate events that took place. 3 days ago, we released a statement as a podcast, and I will read the statement. Well, we are fully aware of the events that took place yesterday, the 19th of August, 2023, and today, the 20th of August, 2023. Further investigation is required and will be carried out in due course. No further comments from the podcast will be made, and we would appreciate it if you could respect our privacy and bear in mind that people have feelings and feelings can get hurt. All investigations and results and reactions to these events will be released on Tuesday, the 22nd of August on our podcast. Thank you for your cooperation, and we look forward to everyone finding out the truth. Unfortunately, we had to delay our podcast a further 24 hours because of the horrific events that took place. We hope you understand, and we thank you as a podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Ball. We read our statement there that we released a couple of days ago after pretty much being involved in some horrific events that took place. It's not something that we want to associate ourselves with on this podcast. Obviously, myself being a Chelsea fan and Paddy being a big, massive United fan.
Less
There's
than
been
massive. It's just like a United
just
fan.
a big,
I know I'm
big,
and all. I was on my holidays
Paddy.
thrown a bit away, but you're not
Yeah.
right to bring it up. Thanks.
We're aware of events that have happened throughout the world. There's been 9/11. There's been the Holocaust. There's been Hiroshima. There's been World War One, World War Two, but nothing compares to what me and Paddy had to go through on the weekend when our fucking teams couldn't get a fucking victory and lose after spending $1 billion. Paddy.
Yeah. Well, we didn't spend $1 billion. We spent just under $1 billion, I think. So like we're fairly poor compared to Chelsea.
I am absolutely outraged by what has gone on over the weekend. And Paddy, we just needed a break. And that's all it was. We needed a fucking break.
I was in Spain last week, sent in a couple of videos. I come home, I contracted some sort of an infection. I was with my family now. It wasn't some sort of a venereal disease or anything like that. It was a chest infection or something like that. So here was me in bed with my tissues, nothing lewd going on. It was for blowing my nose or coughing up phlegm, saying, okay, I'll watch the United match now. And all I used the Kleenex for was to dry my tears because it was such a dire performance. And no, I didn't want to speak to the public. I didn't want to speak to anybody. All I wanted to do was continue being sick. Thought about ODing on my antibiotic, but didn't work. I just got better, quicker.
It just made me so much better, and I hated it for it. Paddy, actually, as well, I did contract COVID last week, so I was also quite sick. So if I'm being totally honest, the whole idea of the statement was to get myself out of a hole because I just wasn't arsed putting a video out. I just wasn't able to lift my head off the bed. And I couldn't deal with everybody's message.
On to the listeners,
the
viewers.
I didn't want to do it. I could say COVID can be contracted through the airwaves, apparently.
Yeah, you've heard it here first.
Allegedly. So, Paddy, that's it. Everybody was a little bit worried. I mean, I put it up and everybody started jumping on it saying, oh my God, what happened? What happened? A couple of people got it that we were only messing and we were just trying to hide from all the shenanigans that was about to come. But no, it's taken the world by storm, and so many messages, and we really do appreciate everybody that sent nice messages that actually said, "Oh my God, is there anything I can help you with?" And let me know if you need anything. Fair play to them people.
Yeah, I didn't
There is
get any
other
help.
people that are just pricks and thought it was hilarious. Anything could have happened. But we also like them people as well because they're funny.
But
So
we are
Paddy,
going to dissect both of those results in this
oh yeah,
podcast.
oh yeah, that's about to happen.
Because for me, it was a surprise for the United result. Chelsea, not so much, but yeah, definitely the United result was a surprise.
Right, well, Paddy, we're going to jump into the first thing, which is the football review. Okay, Paddy, we're going to have a quick review on all the matches. We're going to look at results. We're not going to jump into too much depth on most of them. We're only going to brush over them and say what we kind of thought of them. First one that we had on the Friday night was Forest versus Sheffield United. 2-1 to Forest. I actually don't, I'm not surprised at this. I'm pretty sure I predicted this score, but I don't think I put the video out because I was sick last week. Prove me wrong. So, Paddy, are you surprised by this? Forest and getting a win, 10th in the table. That's one win and one loss starting off. Sheffield United with 2 losses. Are you surprised by either team?
Not so much surprised, but it's a good 3 points for Notts Forest. They don't want to be in the same position towards the end of the season as they were last year. But they've got United at Old Trafford next. You might go, oh, that's not a hard one, but I do think it's one where they won't get 3 points. So yeah, it's a good 3 points for them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same. I think Forest. I was expecting them to win this game. Wasn't a bad display against Arsenal. So yeah, fair play to them. They won. Move on. Probably lose the next one. Next one up, Paddy, was Fulham versus Brentford. I was actually shocked by this one, considering the result for Fulham in the first game, which was pretty decent. Kept a clean sheet. Leno got me 7 points in the fancy football. And then he fucking goes and concedes 3. Are you surprised by this one at all, Paddy?
Not really. No, Brentford were an informed team last season. Fulham again were down near the bottom, so no, not really. No.
Yeah, and Mbeumo, it seems to be banging in goals for them. One to get in on the fancy. I think he might be gone up 0.2 or so. But having a great start of the season and scored a couple of goals last season, not too many, but seems to be flying this season. But with Ivan Toney suspended because of the alleged. Well, we don't have to say alleged anymore. He breached the fucking betting charges. I think he was like 6 or 7 months betting.
Take him at United.
Ivan Toney.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Yeah, 100%. He's actually a class striker. Right, Paddy. On to the next one. Little bit of a shame. I jumped the gun a little bit on this one. Liverpool versus Brighton or Bournemouth. Sorry. I had put up an Instagram story when they went 1-0 down, and I thought, do you know what? It's a win-win. If they don't win, I've already put it up and I said, you know what? I fucking knew it. And if they did win, I got a lot of messages saying, you jumped the gun, which was kind of funny. We were expecting this one though, weren't we?
Yeah, it's all engagement. But the sending off was surprising. People saying that it was a bit harsh. I don't know. I didn't actually see it. Was it? Did you see it?
Do you know what, right? It's after being overturned, Paddy. I don't know if you know this, but the McAllister red card has been overturned. And I think it's a little bit weak by the FA for overturning it. Probably it's a very soft red card, to be fair. But the studs were shown and it did make contact with his shin. So I get that it is good. I'm all for these type of challenges getting turned over because I don't want to take these challenges out of the game. In fact, I want fucking harder challenges in it. But I was surprised because they don't usually overturn decisions that are made by the ref. So I don't understand. And this, Paddy, again, this goes down to the inconsistency of VAR. How can we get these decisions wrong? Imagine that sending off cost Liverpool the game. And then all of a sudden, no, we're rescinding it. You can't rescind the fucking points. You can't take the points back. So we in this day and age, and I think it happened with, was it United? Someone had a penalty last week
Yeah, well, there was two United. Now, there was one in the first game against Wolves where Onana came out, and then there was one for
Yeah,
the Spurs defender that handled the ball.
yeah.
And then we've got the Arsenal game as well, where there was two yellow cards, very soft yellow cards, and he
Soft.
got sent off the defender as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
is that going to be rescinded? I think you hit the nail on the head there. The right word you used was inconsistent, and it
Yeah.
definitely needs to improve. It seems to be getting worse, not better.
And it's the one thing that even the likes of pundits like Gary Neville and Carragher have always been shouting out. The inconsistency of it is the only thing that bugs them. Like, they like the technology works, but it's inconsistency because you're bringing opinions into it as well, rather than letter of the law. Like, let's write down some new laws that state a clear indication. Like, right, step 1, does he get the ball? Step 2, is it reckless? Step 3, are the studs shown? All these little steps could be like little checklists, and if 4 or more of them get a check, then maybe okay, red card. So I think they need to bring in some sort of system like that.
Yeah.
So, go on.
No, I was just saying. Yeah, I was agreeing.
Okay, cool. Mo Salah misses the penalty and scores a penalty. It's going to be interesting to see if he's on penalties now from now on. Sorry, he missed the penalty and scored a rebound of the penalty.
Yeah, he will. I will. No, I know he's missed a few now, but I think he'll stay on them.
Yeah. Diaz also getting on the score sheet. Hasn't actually. People keep saying, "Oh, Diaz is great." Watching him play, he actually hasn't been as effective as last season in terms of on the ball and showing little bits of magic. But obviously, he scored 2 goals in 2 games, so I find it hard to argue that one. But I think Liverpool fans jumped the gun a little bit on him, but he is a good player. Anything else to add on Liverpool, Paddy?
A game you would have expected them to win, but again, another goal conceded. As a Liverpool fan, as someone I suppose that thinks they will challenge for the title this year with Jurgen Klopp, and after the drop they had last season, I just can't see it. I see them again fighting for the Champions League spots, but getting nowhere near the top.
I suppose, Paddy, we'll touch on the signings of them for now, just while we're on it. So I find it funny that they couldn't get Caicedo, they couldn't get Lavia, and then all of a sudden they're after signing Endo, who was the captain for Stuttgart over in Germany. Now, he's been there for a long time, so it's not like he went to Stuttgart because he was like a favoured club or anything like that. He's at a very not low standard, but he's not really the signing I'd say Liverpool fans wanted to see.
Let's put it this way. I'd say of all of Liverpool's signings for that position this season, I'd say he was end of the list.
Hey! I like that one. But you know what's funny as well is that Chelsea have signed Lavia, Fernandes, and Caicedo.
And they're still shit.
But you know what the 3 initials spell? LFC. Because none of them wanted to go to Liverpool. Right, Paddy, we move off Liverpool because they're shy. Wolves and Brighton, Paddy. Are we surprised by this one? Brighton getting off to another flyer. 4 goals again. Wolves, I said in our predictions that Wolves are going to get relegated, and this type of result is the reason why I thought that. They did have a pretty good performance against United in the first game, but this is the reason why I think they're going to go down. They just don't have what it takes to stay up. Are you surprised by this, and are you impressed by Brighton's start of the season?
Absolutely impressed by Brighton. Just continuing on what they've done last season, but they've lost some seriously good players like Caicedo and McAllister in the middle. Two of their mainstays last season. Go, and it just doesn't seem to slow them down. Doesn't matter how many players they lose, they just keep rocking on and playing some amazing football. Going forward, they look good. Defensively, they look solid, and then they even have some players on the bench that they can bring on to make a difference as well. So yeah, I think they'll have a good season. And could they push up into the Champions League spots if some of the teams that would be expected to be there continue to flounder, such as Chelsea, Liverpool last season, United, if they don't improve? You could see Brighton jumping in there maybe.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. And then
Evan
Ferguson. Well, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't. It would if like we
Not for
finished
us
third.
anyway.
Yeah, we would if we finished third and they finished fourth, like instead of yous or something. That'd be great. So Evan Ferguson as well there. A good young Irish strapping lad there. So nice to see him getting in there. He's got a new contract with them as well. So nice to see an actual Irish player playing for a top club in the Premier League. Which I like to call Brighton a top club at the moment because they are performing. Some would say Chris Potter held them back a bit. And sabotaged us at the same time. Right, we won't get too much in. I'm not opening that can of worms, Paddy. We're jumping off that one. We're going on to Paddy. I'm sorry. Your catastrophic event is about to appear. Spurs 2, Manchester United. Yeah.
Relapse.
Paddy, I suppose we have to ask because he's got away with it at Wolves. In terms of like
Very
stealing
so.
that result, but like we said after that result, that is a sign of champions, I suppose. But at the same time, we can see maybe it was just a little bit of luck. But the worrying thing about this match was Tottenham really dominated the game, a lot of the possession,
second half,
and
not the first half.
second half much more. But they really dominated and made us work hard. And I don't know what it was with United. I think there's a few things that I had wrote down, and I might just refer back to them. But what do you think is the overall issue at the moment at United? Do you think it's the players, the formation they're playing, or what do you think it is?
Right, if you look at how we started both games, United play best when they've two holding midfielders there. We just haven't got them there. You've got Fernandes and Mount, and neither of them naturally a CDM, so you need someone in there to help Casemiro, which Casemiro has been left as the scapegoat, I think, nearly now. But considering he's now runners around them, it's very hard for him to control Premier League midfield teams. And then also you've got our wingers and our forward who just look out of place. Garnacho, one for the future, but he's a player I want to see coming off the bench with 20 minutes to go when wing backs are tired. And his trickery then, can get us a goal. Not starting from the start. We need mainstays, experienced players on the left and right wing. Anthony again, is it him, or is he hasn't got somebody to deliver the ball into, because Rashford 30 goals last season just doesn't look there. And Keane was saying that, he doesn't look like he wants to be there. But last season he played there a lot and he did get 30 goals. He played on the left, very few times. I'm just looking forward till Highland comes in.
Push him back out left.
Hopefully we have a target man then. Martial played a behind closed doors game today. But we definitely need a target man. But it's a sorry state of affairs when we have Martial and Highland as our two only recognised strikers at the club, and it's like it was supposedly one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, why we do not have a recognised striker is ridiculous, because if we could get Rashford on the left consistently and maybe give Sancho a chance on the right instead of Anthony, or if there was more competition there, because at the moment Anthony has no competition there, and that's really not going to make you play at your optimum level. But look, defensively okay. The first half of the game I thought we played better than Spurs. I thought we deserved the lead going in at half time, but our own problem, we didn't get it. Let's, as a United fan, take the 100,000 foot view up above now. Is it the worst thing in the world? Absolutely not. After 2 games last season, we had 0 points. So we've got 3 points on the board, 2 poor results, but things can definitely turn around fast. So I look forward to the next game on the weekend.
Can I just, so from watching the game, I just said to myself, do you know what, I'll make a few notes to just get Paddy's opinions on some of the stuff that I've wrote down. So Mount, these are just me bullet points. So Mount terrible again, adding nothing to the team so far. What do you think of his performances so far? I know that you'll think that's me just being biased from Chelsea.
No, look, not good, obviously, but none of the team have been good.
Yeah.
So it's like, if the team were performing well and he was not performing well, it'd be
Yeah,
easier to pick him out. But it's very hard to isolate his performance alone when it's the whole team have performed
okay.
poorly. So he's not going to be able to really play very well in a poor team.
Yeah, fair. The next one I have is Bruno going out wide was bizarre. So towards the end of the game, when he made his substitution, he pushed Bruno Fernandes out on the wing. Why would he do that rather than putting Mount out there? I know Mount's not natural out there, but he has played out there before.
Well, Fernandes has played there before as well, but I think he just wanted Mount's legs to help in the
Centre.
midfield with Casemiro, as opposed to for Bruno. You could have played either or. You could have done it the opposite way around and played Mount up front and Fernandes back, which
Yeah.
Fernandes deeper I think could have been more dangerous. But another issue is that he keeps taking Rashford off with 5 or 10 minutes to go in the match,
Yeah.
which I don't know why Ten Hag keeps doing that. Like he would be our biggest threat on the pitch. And especially with Martial coming on, one of the players Martial links up best with is Rashford. So why he keeps taking them off with 10 minutes to go, it's confusing to me. I don't know why.
The other one I had is you kind of touched on it. Rashford useless through the middle, I think. So that's just me highlighting the fact that you still need the striker. So he has to play there nearly because he's have no other option. But
again, this season, like you see,
well, far more effective last season out on the wing, I think.
Yeah, look, then players, you see defenses as well. They know with Rashford, if they play a high line, he can run in behind.
Yeah.
But if they play low, look, he's not great at holding the ball up, so it kind of nullifies his threat. So he needs to go back out onto the left where he's running at defenders. But then who do you put through the middle? Look, to be honest, at this stage, I'd try anyone through the middle. I would have took Rashford off, maybe, or not took him off. I would have moved him out to the left at about 70 minutes, and even tried Sancho through the middle.
Yeah, might have worked there. Yeah. The last point I made was Martinez getting found out a bit more, and he seems to be diving in a lot more than usual. I know he does love a tackle, but he seems to be getting a bit more reckless with the tackles. I don't know whether it's getting this fucking butcher reputation is getting to him, but seems to be making a lot more fouls and picking up a lot more bookings on that.
Look, you got one yellow card in 2 games, and for the goal, it was a mistake which any defender could make. So I don't think he's dropping in any way. I would have every confidence in himself and Varane in the middle of the park.
Okay, fair enough. Right, Paddy, we'll move off United unless you want to add anything else to it.
No, I think I said enough.
Okay, so. Right, the next one was Man City and Newcastle. Paddy, a great result for Man City. Was talking to my dad and my brother who are Man City fans, and they were happier with this result over the other result because they thought Newcastle were really gonna put it up to them. And to be fair, they did 1-0. A great result. Kevin De Bruyne obviously getting an injury, and the first game of the season usually happens to him. He usually picks up a big fucking long injury. Are you surprised by anything that Manchester City have done so far, or are you right on track?
Yeah, you can't be surprised by anything they do. They just continue to impress. It's a 1-0 side. What really kind of, I suppose, impressed me was probably Newcastle. Again, like to only lose 1-0 in the Etihad and, scare Man City, cause them to maybe defend more than they usually would and get a resolute performance. It just shows how far Newcastle have come on now for people to be saying it was a good result for City 1-0 at home against Newcastle. So fair play to Newcastle.
That's fair. Right, on to the next one, Paddy. Aston Villa versus Everton. We finally got our Aston Villa result that we thought we were probably going to get on the first week of the season. It came against Everton, who looked shockingly bad. What is your thoughts? This one here, is this what you were more expecting to see from Villa?
Absolutely, and I look at 4 different goal scorers as well, which is exactly what you want as a team. Great result. Everton away from home, they're going to pick up most of their points at home this season. I think Calvert-Lewin injured again, but yeah, Villa. I think again, this is what we're looking for, and I think they'll be very strong this season.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with you. I think Villa. I think probably you're talking about maybe 6th, 7th mark. I don't think much higher than that. I don't think they're going to challenge Champions League. I was talking to an Aston Villa fan who reckons they might be pushing towards Champions League, but I don't know. It remains to be seen. That's a great result. That's a great way to kick it off, but might be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I think for Villa, looking at the manager, they're in the Europa League this season, so that could be a way into the Champions League for them.
Yeah.
He is a specialist in the Europa League, so
Yeah, true.
watch the space.
Okay. The next one, unfortunately, that we have to go on to is West Ham versus Chelsea. Paddy, this was hard for me because we went 1-1. It went 1-1, and happy days. Chukwuemeka scored a great goal. Cuts inside, buries a far corner, and then we get a penalty. And that was the defining moment for me. We get a penalty. It's at 1-1. Enzo scores it. We got 2-1 up, and it's a different game. But unfortunately, he missed it, and it wasn't to be. So from that point on, it didn't look like Chelsea were too bad under threat. But then Mikel Antonio breaks through the middle, and again, Colwill gets fucking beaten. And everybody I've seen online, all the fans are saying that Colwill, he's one of us, blah blah blah, and he's great and fucking this and that. There's 2 games he's made 2 mistakes and he's caused 2 goals. Now that directly wasn't really the mistake. He kind of Antonio still kind of beat Diassi then after that with a shot, but I felt like Colwill definitely could have done better, covered around a bit more. Anyone that's seen the goal knows what I'm talking about, because he kind of just bounced off him, but on the wrong side of the defend or of the striker, and made it very easy for him. From 2-1 up, we just couldn't score then. Just couldn't score, and then we conceded to a goal, and then it's curtains. They have a player sent off, and we still can't score. So disappointing.
Colly, what is going on? Pochettino coming in, all the feel good factor. He's have made all these signings. You know, the CDMs coming in. You know, so defensively, you should be solid as a rock.
Yeah.
But again, like you're conceding goals, but you can't score them. No creation.
So
what is going on?
The defining thing, I think, and in all pre-season we didn't do it, and all of a sudden we're doing it now, is we're playing 3-4-3. I don't know why we're doing that. We did see glimpses of like Chilwell and Reece James going up really high. Can we just go back to a flat 4, please, and just play 4 defenders, play Thiago Silva alongside Colwill, play Reece James, who can't play now, but we'll play, I don't know, Diassi or something like that, or Gusto we have there as well. Probably play out on the right. He's probably a better option. And Chilwell on the left. And just leave it at that, a flat 4. Can we get the 3 new signings that we have, the $1 billion fucking midfield, Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo? Sit the 3 of them in midfield, let them do all the work, let them move the ball, which they're very good at. And then can we have Mudryk on the right? Can we have Madueke? So maybe Mudryk on the left, Madueke on the right, and can I get fucking Jackson up front as well, please? Because that's what I think is Chelsea's most attacking best team, and let the wingers kind of go on runs as well. And the 3 that not so much are sitting, Enzo will probably push a little bit more. But the likes of Caicedo, who's going to sit, and Lavia is a little bit more of a defensive player as well. They will cover up both sides of that midfield or of that defense. So that'll be your 5 kind of sitting there.
Okay, so
that's what I think.
You're saying let's see, Mudryk, he hasn't shown anything.
Nothing. Very surprised that I have him in my fancy football, Paddy. He was brilliant in pre-season. Unbelievable, getting the ball, attacking players. And to be honest with you, Paddy, he did come on the first game with about 15-20 minutes left, I think it was. And he got the ball. First thing he done, attacked, went by 3 players, passed it, laid it off, ran, and did show actual glimpses. But that was the only time he touched the ball, I think. Second game, he came on at half-time. And to be fair, didn't really do much. But he is such a threat when he gets the ball and he goes running at players. He's always getting in behind wingbacks and wingers, and defenders, fullbacks, and he's making them inside runs as well, which are so threatening. He links up well with Jackson, and I'm probably a bit surprised. Jackson's probably a bit surprised that he's not started as well, because they've been linking up quite well together. Now that Chukwuemeka's after getting injured, I think this might be an opening for Poch to come in and say, okay, we had a bad result. We might slip back into that 4-3-3. Chukwuemeka is now injured. Reece James is injured. We can bring Gusto on, and we could probably put Mudryk out on the right or left, whichever he decides to do, which is what I want to see. I do want to see that. And I think Jackson is a massive threat. He's just feeding off scraps at the moment. Raheem Sterling had one of the best 45 minutes of football that I've seen him play against. Who did he play first? Against Liverpool. And then apparently very good in the last game. I don't know if people have that opinion or not. I thought he was pretty good, but people are saying otherwise. But he doesn't have an end product. So that's where I think it kills us.
And how do you feel about Caicedo giving away the penalty?
Look, he hasn't played football in 60 days or something like that. And that's the first 15 minutes or something he's after getting. So I think people jumping the gun a little bit too much. Yeah, fair enough. We paid big money from him. You don't expect it, but let's just let the lad get his feet on the ground, let him settle. We'll see next. Now Chelsea have another. I think the next 3 games are at home. 3 decent enough fixtures that we should be getting results in. Let's judge them off them, maybe. Let's not fucking throw them in the deep end, West Ham away, and we're 2-1 down to try come on and change a game. So I think let's calm down a bit. Chelsea are in a very good position, very good players, very good squad. And I do think that the best is yet to come for us.
And one last one for you. Happy with the goalkeeping situation?
Yeah, I'm actually liking Sanchez. He's covering the goal quite well, which is something that Kepa didn't really do. Mendy done it quite well, but he was a little bit dodgy at times with his feet. Sanchez looks very good, solid, and no issues with him. Can't say anything. And apparently we're signing another goalkeeper. I seen it there yesterday on a 7-year deal, because what else would we give out? So yeah, I'm happy with the goalkeeper situation at the moment. So yeah, nothing else to add, Paddy. I think we'll move on and on to Arsenal.
Let's go.
1-0 to Arsenal against Palace. We're going to move this one on, Paddy, because we are about 30 minutes in, and we're trying to keep these a little bit shorter, and we have fans' opinion coming up next. Surprised by Arsenal, yes or no? 2 wins out of 2.
Championship winning performance. If it wasn't for Man City, you'd stick them as favourites. But yeah, good, great result. Not surprised.
Yeah, Kai Havertz, get the finger out, get me a few points to the fancy football, will you please? Thank you. Right, Paddy, that is it. We're going to jump off that. We're going to go on to a fan's favourite, the fans' opinions.
Fans' opinions.
Technical glitch there.
It was the wrong one. It was the wrong one.
Sack that production team. That hamster is not working, is it, properly?
Sorry about that. Back to normal service has resumed, Paddy. Right, so this is the fans' opinions. This is what yous have told us, and this is what your opinions are, and we will comment on them. First one in, I think I said, what's your overall opinion on week 1 or something like that? Not too sure, but I put something out there. Darren O'Grady, 33. Is Evan Ferguson third choice at Brighton? It's concerning. He's a very good player who needs to play. Paddy, as I said it earlier on, a good strapping Irish young striker. Again, at a top team. I don't mind it too much. I think Danny Welbeck is kind of keeping him out of the team at the moment. But shown really good promise as a striker. Very impressive. And Paddy, what do you think of him?
Great player, but he's only 18 years of age, so him being third choice at Brighton is not concerning whatsoever. You would either expect an 18-year-old to stay as a third choice at a top club, or else go out on loan to a first division team. And that he's being kept at the club shows how much they value him. He came on as a sub in the first game, scored a goal. So he will get chances to come on this season, and I think he's best off staying at Brighton because the manager is good. It's a good team, good feeling around the club, and I think he has a very, very bright future ahead of him.
Also, it is good to see, like you're saying there, he's a third choice, but, well, not necessarily third, maybe second choice, but he is getting the minutes. And it would be disappointing if he wasn't getting minutes, but he's consistently coming on, getting minutes. And even during that minutes, he's scoring. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him starting a few games now in the next couple of weeks as well. Although they probably won't change too much, considering they're absolutely fucking spanking teams. So, no, watch this space. He's going to be brilliant, and he's going to be great for Ireland. Paddy, by the way, what do you think of me retro Chelsea jersey?
Yeah, is that back when you were good?
Yeah, well, whatever.
Not really. No,
not really. Paddy, do you want to read on this one?
how delusional Onana was after the Spurs loss. He
Can
pretty
we
much
name the guy? Can we name the guy? The guy wants a
was
shout
how
out
Thomas
here.
Elliott 92. I didn't think he deserved to be named with such a
Oh.
ridiculous fan opinion.
Oh.
Was he delusional? Absolutely not. Was he sticking up for his team? Was he hardly going to turn around and say, "Yeah, we're shit," blah blah blah? He
Yeah,
believed
sort of.
he believed they were the better team, and in the first half, United were the better team. Second half, Spurs were the better team. Well, debatable, but debatable.
Yeah.
But,
But you'll debate it
but
to the hills.
as a United fan, I'll debate it with you, and I'll say we were the better team. So delusional, no. He said what you would expect him to say, and I think only being at the club 2 games, he's come out and talked twice. So big fucking swinging balls, and I'm fair play to him.
Yeah, fair folks. Most people will hide and run for the hills, but he won't. Why have I used that phrase twice? Anyway,
It's a great phrase.
yeah, it is a good phrase. Yeah, it's top fucking phrase. I rate it. Next one, Mouse97 _97, by the way. Your disappearance after the $1 billion team were spanked. Excuse me, there were some catastrophic events that occurred. All right, there was some serious things that needed to be assessed. Let's just say that, right? And my mental health was one of them. So yeah, look, we gave our opinions at the start, and we gave our reasoning. Me and Paddy were both in agreement that we both just deserved a bit of slack, and I'm not sorry, and I'll do it again.
Like they can give a shit during the season if we don't give a reaction video, but like the start of the season when we've like new manager, well, you have a new manager, we have this up feeling of great season last season, and then we get spanked, both of our teams.
Yeah,
we can't be expected to react to that straight away. We need to have a little cry, feel sorry for ourselves.
What do you want? Do you want to see me cry on camera? Is that what they want to see, Paddy?
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
What I want to say. That's what I want to say.
Well, look, I know what you want to see. Okay, on to the next one, Paddy.
The debut from Mr. 150
Another
million.
shout out, please.
I'm going to read him out after I say it.
Okay.
The debut from Mr. 115 million stood out. Monocle smiley face, laughy smiley face from Aaron _Singleton. What do you think about that?
I think Aaron is a wind-up merchant, to be honest with you. He's a Manchester United fan. Yes, it is Casado. It did stand out. I can't say it didn't stand out because all eyes were going to be on him, especially from Liverpool fans.
He's no Endo.
He's no Endo, but there is an Endo inside. You've already used that one. That's not going to work. But I'll tell you what, he will be getting an endoscopy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just fucking butchering this. Right. Yeah, look, it stood out, but let's see how many times he stands out for good reasons this season. Okay. Let's see that one. On to the next one. Luke Collett, 24. Ten Hag saying United's midfield play better. Laughing face emoji. Paddy?
Yes. He did say that. They played better in the second game than they did in the first game because they were like 3 headless chickens in the first game, and then they were just like 1.5 headless chickens in the second game. So
it's fair enough. Yeah, okay, I'll agree. On to the next one. Sorry, we're flying through this so we can get this wrapped up, and then we will have another podcast during the week as well. PK. I'll do it. Paddy's coughing. PK and 888 1 billion loss to West Ham. Okay, right. We've established that. Jesus, we don't need to keep bringing it back up. Thanks for your message, though. Paddy, move on to the next one.
Brain Baru 83. It is Brain Brew, yeah. Sorry,
Brian, yeah. But his name is actually Brian. But he's
all right. Thanks for the info. Maybe he was trying to be inconspicuous and he didn't want people to know that. But thanks for letting everyone know.
Look,
Bruno looking for the ref apology. His whinge levels are worse than my 3-year-old. Look, it's not great, but look, this started with the Wolves game, and supposedly the head of the refereeing association went to the Wolves manager and apologized for the Onana decision, which was absolute tripe. Why would they do that? Now, they probably did, but what a bad decision to do. You just stay quiet. If a bad decision is made, it's just made, and that's it. Just let it go. Yeah. You don't come out, because then every player and every manager is looking for an apology for every decision, which is ridiculous. Bruno needs to cop on, act more like a captain. He didn't deserve to be booked, though, for speaking to the referee, because at the end of the day, he's the one player on the pitch for United who should be able to speak to the referee.
Okay, fair opinion. I'll allow it. I don't know whether Brian will, but anyway. Last
Brian.
one. No, okay, Brian. Okay, we'll call him Brian. Lawler 7171. A familiar name to all those who listen to the podcast for a while. But it's not Mr. Robbie Keane. It's his younger brother. And he is a Hammers fan, and this is why he's saying this to wind me up. Ward-Prowse showing Enzo, who's really worth 100 million. Yeah, good delivery. Can't argue. Great signing for them, to be fair. Really good signing for West Ham. But yeah, go fuck yourself. He's not worth 100 million. Suck me balls. Paddy, that's it. We're gonna leave it at that for this podcast. It's been a very explanatory one. We've let the people know the tough ongoings of our life. And it was,
I'll be honest with you,
tricky.
For me, it felt a bit like counselling. I actually feel a lot better now after. I really do. After talking about it.
Yeah, I feel better. Yeah. Thanks, Paddy. Thanks to you too. Right, I don't know why you are still watching this or listening to this and you just haven't subscribed, because it doesn't make fucking sense. So go and do it now. I don't know what you're waiting on. Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. We got banned off TikTok, so we now need more followers than ever.
What you get banned for?
Posting fucking copyright. How dare I? I go against the grain, all right? Completely gone, banned every video.
But you were in the porn that you posted.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You know, maybe it's because I had a small dick. But Twitter, follow us on that for whatever it is. We don't post that on, but do it anyway.
No,
Spotify.
X.
Yeah, X. Sorry, I fucking thought I changed that symbol. Spotify, listen to us, follow us. Apple Podcast, listen to us, follow us. Do you know what I mean? OnlyFans, subscribe, £10 a month. Right, that's it. Paddy, it's been great. See you on the next podcast that we will release maybe on. I was thinking Fridays for the new release date on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I like a good release on Friday.
Yeah, I like to release stuff on Friday.
Yeah, get you set for the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think releasing on Friday is very
the Friday release. We'll call it
the Friday release. We're going to call it the Friday release. Right, we will be back on the Friday release. So we will talk to everybody then.